In this episode of CNTV, we spend time with a Chickasaw elder. She's one of the first women to serve in the U.S. Army during World War II.
The country was at war, and everybody was very involved in the war. And I had been brought up to think you did your part, which was probably part of my Chickasaw heritage.
Jerry Brown has dedicated her entire life to her family, friends, and her country. She has fond memories of her college years at Oklahoma State University, known back then as Oklahoma A&M. After earning her degree in education in 1943, her college advisor recruited her into the Army.
Because the country had been so brutally attacked, and because of what happened at Pearl Harbor, the patriotism of the United States was wonderful during World War II. And they were telling us that if single women enlisted, that then maybe fathers of small children could stay home. And I had a 3-year-old niece that I adored. So I enlisted in the Army, which was a wonderful experience.
It was an experience that allowed the 21-year-old to travel the country. She was part of the Women's Army Corps, a group of about 150,000 American women, the first women other than nurses to serve within the U.S. Army. During her service, she saw the military grow during World War II to include the Air Corps, now known as the Air Force.
I was in Daytona, Florida in the summer, July and part of August, most of August. No air conditioning. We got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We got dressed according to whatever was the uniform of the day, and it was always posted and you knew what it was going to be. We had PT, which was physical training, and mostly exercises in the sand, and the sand fleas bit your ankle some. And then we would have the other classes, the orientation classes, which all new recruits take, just basic training. And you learned habits, uniform, what was expected of you, the articles of war, what could happen if you broke one of them. I spent about the last 16 months of my service time in Washington, D.C., working in the photo intelligence lab in the Pentagon. And we developed and printed all the aerial photography that came in, including the stuff off the Enola Gay.
The Enola Gay was the first plane to drop an atomic bomb, the target, Japan.
This is at Bowling Field in Washington, D.C.
At age 90, Jerry Brown has vivid memories of her military career. She describes in detail her work in the intelligence lab, where she saw the war unfold through photography.
Okay, there was one vertical camera, a right and left oblique camera, and it photographed from horizon to horizon in the belly of the plane. Each negative was 10 inches square, and there were 360 negatives on a roll of film. And you developed them in a thing that looked kind of like an ice cream freezer, and it went through 3 solutions. And then after the film was dried, then we used huge printers. The one we used in the Pentagon had 32 different switches that you turn lights on and off to get the light right before you put the paper on it. It was actually intelligence to show the Air Force what they were doing, what they had hit, what they had missed. Had it been a successful mission, regardless of the lives that were lost, and many were.
Today, she celebrates those around her. After serving 3 years in the Army, she came home to Oklahoma, married, and raised 2 children in Edmond, Oklahoma. The Chickasaw elder spends several days a week volunteering and serving as a substitute teacher. Being in the classroom keeps her young.
And being with those young women and men who teach, instead of little old ladies that don't have anything to do but talk about how many pills they take every morning. Yes, I think it's helped. I think it's made a great deal of difference because I have kept up with that.
She's kept up with nearly a century of history, and the Chickasaw elder and veteran says she's blessed to share it.
If I stop and think about the things I have seen in my lifetime, Yes, it is truly amazing. You know, I can remember as a kid running outside to stand outside and watch a biplane fly over because you didn't see a whole lot of planes. And then to go, you know, and then to end up on air bases that I did and see all of those and the progress of it. Yeah, I've been very fortunate, very lucky, and I know I have.
Take time to remember and honor our veterans and our elders this holiday season. And we hope you've enjoyed this episode of CNTV.
We hope to see you again soon.